After high winds shut down the vaccine superstation at Petco Park, how the county is preparing to make up for the missed appointments. And as stay-at-home orders are lifted, why restaurants are holding off on bringing back full-time staff. Plus a story that's positively San Diego, the local woman who won a National Brewery Award by using social media to bring awareness to issues that she felt mattered.
ABC 10 News at 4 starts now.
Today is the first day the Petco Park vaccination superstation is back open, and traffic stretched for several blocks downtown after 2 days of closures due to wind damage. Good afternoon. I'm Kimberly Hunt. ABC 10 News reporter Mimi Alcala shows us what's expected for the rest of the week as many appointments were rescheduled.
A look from Sky 10 Wednesday shows cars lined up for blocks outside of the Petco vaccination superstation downtown. People like Deborah and Jorge Gomez waited for hours before they could get a COVID-19 vaccine.
About 3.5 hours, and I figure it's at least another hour. And as long as I get home with my shot, I'll be very happy.
Some were more frustrated as the traffic delayed appointment times.
This is totally absurd. They need to have a better system in place.
About 4,400 appointments were scheduled for Wednesday. By 1 p.m., the line started to clear up a bit. After the long wait, Carol Reed was satisfied with the end result.
Everybody was just so friendly, and I have heart failure, and I have been stuck in my house since February 29th.
About 8,000 to 9,000 appointments for Monday and Tuesday were canceled after the powerful winds caused damage to the site. Most of Monday's appointments were moved to Thursday, and Tuesday's appointments moved to Saturday, although some were able to get in Wednesday.
Tried to spread them out over the week.
Thursday, we could see more long lines. Dr. Chris Longhurst with UCSD Health asks for patience. UCSD is currently hoping to enroll more volunteers to help at the site.
Staffing is one of our main challenges. We've redeployed a lot of our health system staff to help with this.
The county opened its vaccination sites to those 65 and older, one of the reasons the lines have gotten longer. But in a statement to ABC 10 News, a spokesperson for the county says many healthcare systems have begun to reach out to their patients who are eligible to be vaccinated. If you have healthcare, if you have a provider, that is the preferred route to your vaccination. Mimi Alcala, ABC 10 News.
As for the next storm moving in Thursday night into Friday, the plan is to keep the Petco site open. Dr. Longhurst says they did work closely with the fire marshal to make sure the tents are safe. Appointments are scheduled through MyChart. And nurses at UC San Diego say they desperately need help keeping up with the surge in COVID cases at the hospital. ABC 10 News reporter Marie Cornell lays out their concerns.
UCSD nurses held a news conference on their Hillcrest campus to raise concerns about not having enough staff to take care of their patients, especially in the ICU.
We are tired, we are burnt out. I don't know how we could look after more extremely sick patients effectively.
UCSD nurses gathered to show their solidarity, hoping to send a message to management, letting them know they need help.
It's very busy. We don't have time to do our jobs. We're very stressed out. It's emotionally taxing because our patients are dying a lot of times, especially in the COVID ICUs.
Right now, UCSD is following the state rules for the nurse-to-patient ratio, one nurse taking care of 2 patients. But up north, that's not the case. Both UCLA and UCI hospitals have applied for a waiver to operate below that. Something these nurses say is unacceptable, especially as they're struggling to stay afloat during this pandemic.
We call on the state and the University of California to maintain appropriate safety standards and not implement waivers for staffing requirements.
UC San Diego says they have not requested a waiver, but nurses that work for the health system worry that may change.
We are putting tremendous pressure on them not to apply for this waiver.
Marie Cornell, ABC 10 News.
UC San Diego sent this statement saying in part they are extremely proud of the level of care and service their team has provided patients. With the help of the community wearing masks and social distancing, they hope to get through the pandemic without applying for that staffing ratio waiver. Truckloads of PPE arrived in the South Bay for distribution. This was the scene in National City this morning at an event organized by Last Mile San Diego. They're working to get tens of thousands of bottles of hand sanitizer and thousands of thermometers to groups ranging from schools to small businesses. Organizations say that the donors played a big part in getting the PPE in people's hands.
We were able to connect with a donor who felt so strongly about what we're doing and helping these communities in need that he was willing to give us over $2 million worth of hand sanitizers.
Some of the PPE gathered also is heading across the border to help groups in Mexico. Last Mile San Diego recently sent PPE to the Red Cross in Tijuana. Oscar, Golden Globe, and Emmy-winning actress Cloris Leachman has died today. Her publicist confirmed with ABC News she died of natural causes at her home in Encinitas. This was Leachman when we spoke to her. It was at Pride in 2010. Leachman won an Oscar in 1971 for her role in The Last Picture Show. She was also known as a very funny lady with unforgettable roles in Young Frankenstein and Phyllis on The Mary Tyler Moore Show. Cloris Leachman was 94 years old.
The Biden administration's COVID-19 response team gave a briefing for the first time today. The new director of the CDC was on the call. Dr. Rochelle Walensky says that while cases and hospitalizations are finally trending downward, they are still considered extremely high. Experts are also keeping an eye on those new variants.
The variants have been identified recently, seem to spread more easily. They're more transmissible, which can lead to increased number of cases and increased stress on our already taxed healthcare system.
The variant that originated in the UK has already been found in 26 states. The variant from South Africa has yet to be found in the U.S. Now, while much of the focus right now seems to be on vaccinations, the Health Equity Task Force is still worried about communities of color, including Latinos, African Americans, and Indigenous people. They're still dying at higher rates than their white counterparts. The task force doesn't just want these groups to have access to the vaccine. They also want to make sure that they stay healthy while they wait.
So that includes ensuring access to PPE, testing, treatments, and vaccines. It also includes making it possible for people to safely quarantine and isolate and to monitor the impacts of long COVID.
President Biden's plan is to get 100 million people vaccinated during his first 100 days in office. The CDC says the country is on track of achieving that goal. In fact, vaccination rates are at more than 1 million per day and rising. Johnson & Johnson's vaccine candidate could be available within days. That's according to Dr. Anthony Fauci. While there is no stockpile of vaccine reserves right now, President Biden has promised to send more doses to states in the coming weeks. Now, the acting Secretary of Homeland Security is putting out a new warning about a heightened threat environment across the country. DHS says information suggests that some ideologically motivated violent extremists with objections to the exercise of government authority and the presidential transition could continue to mobilize to incite or commit violence. You can help by reporting suspicious activity and threats of violence and online activity to local law enforcement. Leads about who was involved in the riot at the Capitol continue to come in. The FBI saying they have gotten more than 200,000 tips and identified more than 400 suspects. Now, there are already more than 150 criminal cases related to the attack. There's still a reward to find whoever planted pipe bombs near the Republican and Democratic National Headquarters. You can submit anonymous tips online or over the phone to the FBI.
President Biden signed executive actions to make climate change a core part of all foreign policy and national security decisions. The actions halt new oil and natural gas leases on public lands and offshore waters and review existing fossil fuel leases. The oil and gas industry and some lawmakers say the move is bad for the economy and thousands are losing their union jobs, which are hard to come by right now.